we had this source code for a Japanese game. So we were looking at it in order to know exactly what's going to be our work with it and what we can do. And you could see that there were notes in the source code of the original programmer saying like, oh, I'm so bored, or like, I hate this game, or like things like that, you know. We feel a lot of passion for this work because we can kind of feel, you know, like the creation and the motivation the creators had back in the days, and we kind of like revisit those moments while working on those games. Dotemu is a company specializing in retro gaming. Even if we have an indie label called The Arcade Crew, that's not purely retro gaming, but that's very close to it, and we try to search for the DNA. I would say that retro is one of the main element of our DNA. But not only, you know, like in the games we work on, but also with the people we work. We all really like the spirit of retro, you know, like digging into the past, looking out for some games or movies or music that's from the past. Of course, we always look at the future as well because that's our job, but I would say that's really part of the spirit. And also, I would say it's a bit linked because things change along the years with social networks and all that kind of stuff, and relationship at work. We always try to have a nice spirit of friendship, taking care of each other. I would say that's part of the spirit of the company.
For Dotemu, our goal is to recreate the spirit of the games, how they were in the retro in the past. We are gonna look to keep the core gameplay mechanics. If we are doing just a remaster, we are gonna keep everything as is. But if we are doing a remake like Wonder Boy or Street of Rage or Windjammers 2, then we are gonna add a lot of modern components to its core. Because we also want the players to feel it modern with all the retro elements that were before.
Alors, du coup, Windjammers, on disait, c'est un jeu relativement simple à jouer. Il y a un bouton pour envoyer directement le frisbee et puis un autre pour envoyer en lob. Et le petit truc qui était rigolo qu'on a découvert quand on a fait du rétro engineering, c'est qu'il y avait donc une petite mécanique de catch-up qui permettait en fait aux joueurs, lorsqu'il était mené au score, d'avoir plus de frames pour pouvoir donc faire des supers ou renvoyer son disque en super sonic shot. Ah bah quand même. We want to the player to actually feel the same emotion they had when they were playing the game, like in the 80s or in the 90s, when they discovered and enjoyed the game. We also allow ourselves to maybe add some features, like in Windjammers 1 we added a full online mode. Also for Its Origin we added a speedrun mode.
Magical! A game that adds muscle to your little body! Want to play with a friend? It's super easy! Join the online ranked mode or grab your Joy-Cons and make your friends hate you!
Et puis l'autre chose qu'on avait fait également pour les joueurs, c'était tout simplement, lorsqu'on a fait le portage du 1 et puis qu'on savait qu'il y avait un mode online et qu'il fallait donc que les gens trouvent le format attrayant, on a repris le format donc de la scène e-sport qui existait, qui était une petite scène relativement discrète mais qui était quand même présente. Et donc on a fait quoi ? On a mis le timer sur 99 et donc le nombre de points par set sur 12.
Faire subir un lob. Un petit peu trop tard sur la première tombe. Oh là là, il a récupéré quand même le frisbee. Marsan.
I see it as doing for old games what must be done to give them what they deserve and try to show the classics to a new audience, because now that the video game industry is mature enough, we have a lot of masterpieces and they are timeless, so our job is to make them great again. So I'm working on our in-house engine, a beat-em-up engine, and I'm running with an emulator the original game too. So I can play them with the same controller at the same time and try to find the right feel to the animations and to the pace of the game. For example, I play both games and I see that there is something odd with the ground upper, and I can edit it in real time with our in-game engine, modifying the size of the hitboxes and the strength of the punch and the damages, also the length of the animation. So I can, for example, add some recover here. I had some recovery frames here, so and it translates instantly into the game. So you see, it's longer at the end.
Alors donc c'est Biaggi, Loris Biaggi, l'italien. Chaque personnage représente un pays. C'est plutôt un personnage médium, il est bien équilibré, il n'est pas trop lent, il est trop rapide. C'est super, elle est assez efficace. On a l'impression que ses rebonds sont un peu aléatoires et du coup ça fait un peu peur. Ouais, je l'ai un petit peu vieilli. En lui mettant une petite mèche blanche comme ça. J'ai redynamisé un peu sa coupe. J'ai bien senti de lui mettre une mèche un peu aérodynamique, on va dire. Et en jouant avec le personnage, dans le premier jeu, il a une voix un peu de mec un peu rusé. Et donc je lui ai mis, je sais pas, j'ai essayé de retranscrire ça dans l'expression du personnage.
Who are some always working on games that people are already fan of the franchise. If we take the example of Streets of Rage, a lot of people were saying that was the game of their childhood. And they were always expecting a lot, so we have a huge pressure to make sure to not disappoint them.
I think the fans of Dotemu are like nerds, but in a good way, like us, because we are very demanding and we know what we want and we know what we want to see in a video game, and I think our fans are the same kind. So that's why this is so easy to speak with us and to reach them on every aspect.
We're very close to the community, mostly on Twitter. Our community manager does an awesome job to give us the feedback of the players. We look at them, we analyze them, and if the feedbacks are doable, we're gonna try to add or adjust the game as the player feel.
Today, on this day, with everything going on, with these challenging times and kind of a lot of doubts about the future, people maybe tend to find comfort with something they know, with something they knew when they were kids and they like when they were kids, and maybe they try to find like you have comfort food, you can have maybe comfort games. Retro gaming can maybe answer that need. People can, with our game or any retro gaming game, and this is what we are trying to do with Dotemu, is to make people feel like they are at home and they are reviving happy memories from the childhood.
Like all the industries, it's a cycle. Like Hollywood, in the 90s you had a lot of remakes. You know, a masterpiece inspires people, so you want to make it again and again. There is no new stories, it's always the same story, but people want that.
People are maybe so into retro gaming for a few years now, maybe because they want to be a part of a community. When you are a retro gamer or a very specific gamer, you share the same references with other people. So with that, you can feel like you're part of a community, and I think more and more is going to be very important to people, so they can feel accepted and surrounded by other people like them.
We're part of this process of passing on the legacy of all these games. Video game is a pretty recent industry, but still it has an history and it was built by awesome people, and we try to contribute to making that those people and what they did is not forgotten, basically.